Hi, I'm Larry King. I'm so happy to tell you how much I like Dave Bradford. He is one of the really super people that I know. You know, it's not known by many, but we have a home in Provo, and it's right next door to David, so he's constantly bothering. No, I'm only kidding.
I think the reason that David has been so successful is some of these attributes that he has.
Passion.
Really enthusiastic.
Positive.
Smart.
A high energy and drive to succeed.
Generous.
Tireless.
He's a people lover.
Larger than life.
Really fun.
Committed.
And he always writes in his journal, and of course he has a to-do list.
David's one of the most unique people I've ever met.
But David has talent, charisma, energy, friendship, the complete package. I mean, he really is a Renaissance man.
He was very popular in school.
Well, there's a lot to admire. He's a great golfer.
David Bradford's one of those guys that everybody wants to know, and fortunately, David knows just about everybody.
He has all these great motivational stories. In fact, I can't think of a situation where David didn't have a great motivational story. Some historical story from some great battle.
And I think it takes a real man to wear a bright pink golf shirt.
Oh my gosh. It just seems like he goes from one achievement to another. And I don't know where he gets all these smarts from.
I started out life as a lawyer. Graduated from the BYU Law School in 1977. It was the second graduating class.
Then his first job was with Erstfeld & Younger on Hollywood Boulevard.
Pure David Bradford. Walked into an elevator, got off the floor. I want to interview here. Hire me, and they did. Had a great legal career in Los Angeles.
And it was really fun because I was his secretary for a short time. And we would go out and have Japanese dinner right there on Hollywood Boulevard. It was just a joy to me.
He was even a criminal defense attorney at a point.
But he realized that the practice of law wasn't quite as fun as he thought it was going to be. The next job he had actually was with Prime Computer.
We're talking the 1970s, 80s. Prime Computer, where's this going to go? And it went dynamite from there.
Then went on to Business Land, which was another tech company.
This is sort of like an early Best Buy or early CompUSA 30 years ago. And he became a manager of a store that was selling software and so forth. And that's where he first learned about Novell, because they were starting to sell Novell software.
Went and started working for Novell.
He was driving down the freeway one day and saw the sign for Novell and
Stopped by just to say hi and ended up becoming their general counsel.
But one of the interesting facts on Novell is that he ended up being the longest-standing executive in Novell history.
And then, of course, went on to other adventures in the law field with Fusion.io taking it public, and now with HireVue, which is another terrific success story.
So he was really part of just these incredible conversations and movements and events that happened inside of computing, and he's been part of them for the last 3 decades.
I think you can look at a pattern here. When Dave is involved, things happen. When Dave is involved, things succeed.
What fires up David about technology isn't the whiz-bang features of the technology, but what it enables people to do.
How can it connect people? How can it educate, facilitate, motivate people to do better things all over the planet?
I think he's had a unique ability to sort of see technology and see its potential for profound impact in business and society.
But he's not a technologist per se. He's not an engineer. He's not a software engineer or a hardware engineer or anything like that. But what makes him great is he just loves being around technology and what's driving the future of the country and of our world.
David Bradford is the most amazing individual for connecting people on planet Earth. There's just no question about it.
He's like a history book just in and of himself in terms of what he's seen and what he's experienced, the people he's interacted with, people he's built relationships with.
You know, David was Facebook before there was Facebook. He is the human LinkedIn.
I think his wife calls him the human internet.
You know, you talk about Kevin Bacon and 6 degrees of separation. David Bradford, 1 degree of separation. You know, get rid of the middleman.
It's funny to me, no matter where I go in the world, as soon as I mention David Bradford, there's always that little tie. Somebody somewhere in this world knows him and has some relationship with him. It's hilarious.
That guy he loves people. He loves to be around people, loves to connect to people. You should see his Facebook page, I think it's maxed out.
I think at one point he told me that he had reached the limit on friends on Facebook.
I think there's a power in what he does and being able to engage people and to develop authentic relationships.
He really is genuinely interested in others and loves to connect people.
I think in the end for me, it's being able to connect people with opportunity And when they can come in and I see their lives change because they've joined this company, you know, the joy that comes from that and the satisfaction where people have security in their lives, that's a big deal. That means a lot to me.
Well, David is, first of all, relentlessly upbeat.
He really has a way of pulling people in, drawing people in.
And whatever cause it is, whether it's golf or family or politics or business, David is all in.
And that's a great advantage in life generally, but business in particular, and particularly in the kind of business that Dave has been instrumental in building.
And people follow that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of positive outlook. And I think that brings people together and they gravitate to David, and he leads them in a positive way.
He's a great communicator, and so when you spend time with him, you really do get a sense of what he believes in and the passion he has for it, and that passion.
I mean, it's contagious, and that's why he had so many friends. They all loved him. He did everything anyone asked him to do with no thought of having anything in return.
He does everything with all of his heart. And so he works hard, he plays hard.
I don't think he sleeps very much either.
One of the things about David that I love is that he leads in a way that I think is a great example to me. And a lot of times I think great leadership is not being in the way, and it can be really magnanimous, yet there's a subtlety to it that gets people going in the right direction, moving the right place, and with the right spirit.
You know, in life there are people who get things done and people who talk about getting things done, and David's one of those guys that gets things done.
Oh my gosh, does he love his family? He is absolutely the most fantastic father and grandfather. His whole life is involved around those children and what he can do for them. And he is devoted to his beautiful wife, Linda, for over 40 years.
People have always said, what makes David Bradford so great? And I have to tell you, I think it's his wife. I think he gets most of his strength, if not all of his strength, from his wife, Linda.
Linda is there every step of the way, encouraging him, motivating him, and giving him great ideas. I mean, it's a terrific team.
He talks about Linda in a way that's just something that we should all aspire to.
He's always saying to the family, don't I have a beautiful wife? Isn't my wife Linda beautiful? And we all agree, yes, she is beautiful.
Sometimes he's a character, and so he makes the house come alive. Sometimes too much, but sometimes it's okay.
Oh my gosh, if you get me talking about Linda, I'll cry my eyes out, because she is an awesome human being. I'm so blessed to have married her.
I am so proud to be his mother.